Hello everybody and welcome to today's stream. I am your humble host Gavin the Kitty, and today we are playing Castlevania Bloodlines. Please do mind my voice. I've come down with a bit of a head cold. Yesterday it was kind of hard to breathe. Today it's better. So bear with my commentary. It might not be the most riveting thing today. However, this game is quite riveting and it's really fun. So I'm going to try to play this to the best of my abilities and we'll see how far we can get. I am going to set this to easy. I'm using a improvement patch. However, we could go all the way up to expert and get the big ending, but I am not there. I debated doing a poll for today for either John Morris or Eric Lecard. I decided against it. We're just going to do John Morris, and maybe next year we'll do Eric Lecard. So, good reason to come back for it. Which is great, because I like Castlevania. I hope everybody's been doing alright. I've been doing okay at best. I've been looking forward to Sonic Frontiers. I recently got in a book called the Sonic Encyclopedia to try and work on a new Sonic Timeline video where we cover the modern games. But that won't be for a while. So this game, I feel, is the cat is getting less sick. Yay, exactly, Karmic. And to top it off, this game is the better Castlevania 4. I feel it really is. It's got you have a diagonal whip. You've got two playable characters. I know a little bit of the dev history with this one, but not a whole lot. Sub-weapons can be slightly different. And honestly, we'll get to all of the craziness, but this game is one of the best. Of course, we have an axe, so I'm just gonna... the best of my ability. Here's a random item. You can either get... the book will either grant you a bunch of sub-weapon ammo and some points, or a special, super special item. I'll get to what that is in a little bit. You can jump on stairs just like in Super Castlevania 4. Whipping diagonally is, of course, always useful. John Morris here is our requisite Belmont. He's Belmont in all but name. He can move, he can walk. He is related to the Belmonts ever so slightly, but he is more so related to the Morris clan from the book Dracula. You might have heard of it. It was just a little book known as Dracula. And here's our first mini-boss. It is the Demon Dog. Every stage is going to have a mini-boss style boss and then a regular boss. You actually have to whip that in order for this to break. He can break all of these mirrors, by the way, all of the glass panes, unless you beat him very quickly, like I did there. I'm not the best at Castlevania Bloodlines. I will never claim to be. This game is tough as nails, and we officially have our special weapon. In this improvement patch, it finally plays the proper music. Ba-da-da-da-da. I love this track. We've now got a lightning whip, and as long as we don't get hit, we get to keep it. Which is great, because it does like 2 times more damage. And our special weapon, our sub-weapon, has changed too. And that can be overwritten with regular special weapons, which are not as good. Trust me, they are not as good. And I'll show you why in a little bit. because I can do stuff like that. Just absolutely rip through enemies, candles, everything on screen. If it is undead, it will take care of it. But it takes up a good amount of special weapon ammo. So, be warned. The hearts here are replaced with magic gems. I believe this is one of the only Castlevania games to do that. But, you know. Of course, I didn't show you the coolest thing about this whip, is that you can swing. But it is one swing only. It is not like Super 4 where you have to find a hook. You can do this on literally any wall. Oh boy. I'm eating through the special weapon ammo. Luckily, I'm playing a lot better than my practice run. I haven't been practicing Castlevania in a little while, so it's taken me a little bit to get back in the flow, get back in the groove. Which is alright with me, because this is one of the best. Nope. No white dragons today. So yes, we're in Castlevania's ruins, so it's not very much. There's not much here. I believe this game takes place after Richter Belmont, so yes, I did just switch out the special weapon. I did that on purpose because I want to show off more of this guy's moves than what you would normally see. All right, that's enough. Now he's angry, but he's only legs. You haven't gotten any dung arms. And just like that, we have beaten our first stage. And with that as well, I'd like to also remind you guys to drop a like and subscribe. If we hit 400 by the end of the month, we will be playing Castlevania Legends. We already hit 400 one time this month. However, YouTube decided to take away some. I'm assuming they were bots. So, if you're waiting on Castlevania Legends next week, please subscribe. If not, this Vania will last until the 31st. This will be the last Castlevania game if we don't hit that, so. And I'm sure you guys want to see Legends, so. Come on, folks, we can do it. Of course, as long as you are in the special weapon, it'll play the 1-2 music. I don't want to accept a death, so we're not going to let us accept a death. Of course, the cross is replaced with a boomerang this time. This time it acts as an actual boomerang. It has a slight arc. Hello, Zenith the Protogen. Welcome. We are playing Castlevania Bloodlines today. I am running a slight cold, but bear with me. Eric, Lacard is probably your favorite, says Karmic. Ah. Okay. You said Eric's your favorite in the franchise. Eric's pretty cool. I think it's really neat that you actually meet him in Portrait of Ruin, but he's a ghost. And he's just kind of holding there because his daughters are turned into vampires. Yeah, Castlevania's crazy when it wants to be. Here the emphasis is placed back on the sub-weapons instead of the whip, so have the right sub-weapon for the job. Here soon I get to show off one of the coolest little secrets. I'm alright. I'm hoping to I'm hoping that I can do a little bit more today. Honestly, I'd be much better if I was less sick. I don't like being sick. Of course, we're gonna back it up, because you're making a fursuit? That's awesome! Show me send progress updates if you can. Send progress updates if you'd like. I love hearing about fursuit making. I don't know if many people know this, but I actually made Presto into a fursuit. I made that one with some help of one of my friends, who is way more into costume and anime building than I am. But he taught me a ton about, like, sewing and whatnot. Let's not jump into him. Actually, I unblocked you shortly after. I did it so you'd stop trolling around and whatnot. I'm not a monster. I keep my block list very small. And you came back and you seem to be acting respectful. And if you keep this up, eventually you'll get back into the server. I'm not crazy. People change. Time happens. People grow up. I've said stuff when I was a kid where I regret it. Like, come on. Everybody's got their own, like, set of faults. I'm not gonna take anything out just because, you know, you said something dumb once. Or you did something stupid. Like, come on, I've done my fair share of stupidity. What kind of person would I be if I just let... What kind of person would I be if I just, like, demonized everybody who did something awful once? It's much better to forgive, forget, and move on. Remember the past as a memory, and learn from it, like history. That's not a quote, by the way. I legitimately came up with that, so... Feel free to use that as you will. Oh! What? Oh, I see. It's a big arc. Yeah, no. Love seeing fursuit stuff. Honestly, Oh. Nope. Nope. Just nope. Ah, man, the enemies here are so tricky. So this game takes place, right before World War I. And, yeah, we just hit the head off of a gigantic version of Michelangelo's David. Fun fact, this game basically started with very little direction other than Castlevania game, and then they started tinkering around with the Genesis, and they had so much fun tinkering that if they didn't step in, this game would have been put out during the age of the Sega Saturn. They were doing so much stuff with the Genesis that Konami was like, if you go any further, we're gonna need a bigger cartridge, and we don't have the budget for that. This game is wild in terms of how massive of a technical achievement it is. Interactable objects, twisting, moving, rotation effects, 3D style sprites. This game gets crazy, and I can't wait to show it off. Yeah. Other than all that jazz, hope everybody's been doing well. Make sure to send some friends. Filed you with an... I'm confused. What do you mean by that? It's not exactly something I have heard of before. Filled, filed, confused the stream. You know, that sounds about right for me. Confusion on a stream. It's like every day. Oh, man. Now, here's a boss where... if you're good enough with the whip, you can actually... oh! Filmed. Why? Bit confusing. Hello, Liam. You did more writing today? Awesome. Oh, well, cool. Well, be sure to drop it in the Discord's art channel, because I'd like to see the I like to see the art. I am messing up horribly with these whips. Ooh. Ooh to you as well, Zenith. Oh boy. Once again, sorry about my voice. Yesterday it was hard to breathe, today not so much. Recently we unlocked the ability to use the community tab on YouTube as well, so I can drop you guys polls and stuff before I do streams, or slightly after them. So if I know there's a game with a choice coming up, like this game, I could actually, you know, ask, like, what character you guys want long in advance. Which we might end up doing for the following week. I hope you guys also enjoyed the little Karmic short we put out yesterday. So glad we bulk recorded those. If not, I would not be able to put out as much content as I do, because when I'm feeling under the weather like this, it's hard for me to record something and... okay. Oh boy. I believe it was over here. Blue gem. Might as well take it. Once again, you can jump onto the stairs in this game, just like in Super 4, so it's... Eric Lacard, the other playable character, has a much easier time in this room. He can basically... he can do a high jump. However, here is the first spot where I get to show off the swing. You are 100% invincible while doing a swing. You don't ever have to worry about it. However, you're not invincible once you land, so... If I hold down slightly when I'm hanging on, I will extend the whip slightly. Which is nice. Canonically, this is like the first time that anyone with the whip has done a whip swing. Because Super 4 is just a remake of the first Castlevania game, and if you're counting Castlevania games, you might as well just take the first one. Like, you know, the traditional classic Castlevania 1 on NES, but... Here we're gonna want either that giant special weapon or a lot of axe with the ammo. All of the platforms here are moving ever so slightly, and if you're hanging on by just a pixel, you in fact will fall off. That is And of course we've got Medusa heads, which are even more of a hassle here. How is the chat enjoying the game thus far? I must know. Must know. My curiosity has peaked. What do you guys think about the Castlevania? Have you guys been enjoying Octobervania at all? These are all questions I'm awesomely curious about. So that was the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Here, instead of the ground that it was placed on being why it was tilting, it's Dracula's influence. Basically being like, ha, no. Okay, I could grab the axe, or I could just keep my sub-weapon. I think I'm just gonna keep it. Because now we have one of the most technically, like, awesome sections of this game. I love this. You're actually spinning around the tower. This whole game is a globetrotting adventure around Europe, which I think makes this way cooler. An axe, please? Anything? Anything but more gems. I don't need any more gems. Yes, thank you. We've made it to the end. So 1 candles are always going to be sub-weapons. 2 are always going to be either points or the gems for your special weapons. This guy comes out in phases, regardless of what you do. What if we just give that another go here? Oh boy. Nah, we're not taking a death here. My playthroughs are always more of a showcase than an actual testament of my skill. Because, like, I can beat any game with enough time, it's just for the sake of the playthrough. And just like that, we're done. I believe this ROM hack that I'm playing also adds back in a lot of the censored elements from the original Bloodlines. Because believe it or not, Bloodlines also was censored in America, but only slightly. But also in Europe, massively. So if you ever play Castlevania The New Generation, you will find a lot of missing elements. Much like the blood on the title screen is blue in that version of the game. So, I couldn't tell you why, but I think the main reason was that the Genesis was more broadly and fondly looked at in Europe. So, I guess showcasing a game that is going to be looked at by a wider audience in the US market, I'm guessing that's why they changed it. Please note, don't let me say anything. So, of course, John here is running a little bit late, and the war is beginning. So, like I said, this game takes place only, like, a day or two before World War I. And then the sequel to this, Portrait of Ruin, which I played some of its music for the opening bit, takes place right after World War II. You could totally make that. Maybe. X marks the spot for some meat. I believe that's like the only meat spot I actually know from memory. We'll take a boomerang. Bonk him with a boomerang. Oh man. Sonic Frontiers. So soon, so soon. We've almost played through every Sonic game too, and I'm surprised it only took me like a year. By December, all of them will be beaten. On this channel, I will have streamed every single every single Sonic game, which is wild. And by reference, I will have streamed every Sonic game anybody actually cares about in November. We are in the heart of a factory. We're in the heart of Doom. I don't know what these pistons are supposed to do if they're not end capped. You can't get a little mini explosion. I have no idea what they're using them for. It can't be to work on anything, because they're not doing anything. They're just pushing. So recently I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I don't know if anybody else is, but I recently watched the latest episode of The Power of the Doctor. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I think it might just be my new favorite episode of Doctor Who. It made me cry. All those old faces back, Ace, Tegan, I love it. Love it so much. There was just so much love and reverence in everything that happened there. It really... I don't know if it made all of Jodie's run worth it, but I already enjoyed Jodie's run, knowing it was a little sillier and campier and not the best written, but, like, they ended her on a high note. And the 14th Doctor, that one threw me for a loop. Alright, here's a little trick. That door will shut if it goes back up. Alright, now I have the moving saw blades. Spinning, mashing gears? I honestly don't know what to call them. But it's very important that you keep a hold of your sub-weapon. allows us to get in a little bit further and a little further. I'm so anxious letting go of up. Ugh. Tough, tricky timing. We are getting closer to the end, though. Now you might ask, do I think this game beats out Rondo? Because everybody loves Rondo of Blood. No, absolutely not. Hello, February! Welcome! Glad to have you. Glad to have everybody so far. If we run a little short, I might show off Eric Lecard. Just do a whole run of him. Even though I'm way less experienced with him. If you can get up there, by the way, Eric has a shortcut to more items here. Luckily, this is gearwork, or clockwork. No, I still got hit. No, I collected it. What? Impatient me. Alright. I originally got stuck on gearwork here. Oh man, this guy's cheeky. If you actually die to him, he ends up having a, he does a little dance animation. He is the rudest little dude. This guy's got phases, just like the other bosses. What? Alright then. Well, I hope you can get some actual food in you instead of, you know, stuff that lands like a brick in your stomach. And, I just find that funny that they called him Philip J. Fry. Do they work at a pizza place? As a delivery boy? These are all questions to ask. We're only at 9 views today? You guys are wild. You guys are crazy. We're only a half hour in. We're already on stage 5. This game can be so short when it wants to be. Now we have the Palace of Versailles in France. It's overrun with plants. No, I could explain all of the prominence of and stuff of this game and like of what's going on here. Or I could just play the darn game. I don't have to take care of that one, but I am. I still don't know what causes that. Oh, here's a cool effect. The past, the future at the same time, something. He's ever truly present. I see. This is a really cool effect, by the way. I want to show this off. You think you're standing in water. It's blood. And we have blood skeletons to deal with. These guys like to reform like dry bones. Truly a fright to behold. As I said, the whip swing can be really useful here. I just got bodied a whole bunch over an item I don't really care for. I much prefer the axe in this game. I just feel like you can get more done with the axe. That show has so many different endings, and I'm still curious on how they're going to pick it up for that Hulu series. Here's the axe-throwing knights. Much like in past games. Only here they lack their shields. Bit too close for my liking. Okay. There we go. Enough of a sub-weapon to... Lasers! Of course. Whatever else would I expect to see in the late 1800s, early 1900s? How silly of us to ever question the might of Dracula's mighty lasers. Listen, I just think it's funny. What kind of technology is Dracula using? Lasers? Like, that's just silly to me. He doesn't need to use lasers, but he is. Undead lasers. I want that on a shirt. Like a skeleton. Whenever that person opens their mouth, it has to start with like the first couple riffs of Bad to the Bone. Or yeah, just ba-da-da-da-da-da. Boy. I just wanted the one item. I didn't want to waste that much sub-weapon ammo, but... then again, here we are. So, the plot here is that Elizabeth Barkley has started a war. And your comic demons and technology are... rocks are considered... what? That is a wild concept, and I don't know quite how to feel about it. Remember correctly, wasn't World War I one of the last wars to have bows and archery as like a heavy force? After that, they were all kind of backwards to guns, kind of. I could be very wrong. Maybe this isn't a discussion to have on a castle. I mean, like, yes, the game takes place around World War II. World War I, but that doesn't mean I have to talk about World War I. This is the only time we'll see that style of armor. The two faces. I'm gonna go back to the start of the fight. I feel like I just kind of wasted... Oh, man. With the amount of focus this game requires. Commentary can be a bit of a challenge. This entire boss fight's based on an illusion where if you look at a pillar on its own, it looks like two faces. Little goofy, but I mean, you see the same thing with Wolverine. Is it Wolverine or two Batmans looking at each other? The answer is it's usually Wolverine, but I mean, you can never be certain. Never. Here's one of the greatest mistranslations of all time. This is supposed to be Mothra. But since they didn't have the rights to Mothra, it's like Monthra. Hello! Magical World, hello, welcome. We're just playing some Castlevania Bloodlines. I'm trying my best here to showcase as much of this game as I can without going overboard. But welcome to the stream. Be sure to subscribe, drop a like. Got a lot planned this week, so yeah. Also, don't mind my voice. I've got a bit of a cold, as I've said before. You played Castlevania 1 before? Well, this is Castlevania Bloodlines. It's a pretty awesome game, featuring John Morris and Eric Lecard as they venture around Europe to stop Dracula. John Morris here is equipped with the Vampire Killer, gifted to him from the Belmont clan, giving them immense power. However, it comes at a cost. They can't use the full power of the Vampire Killer unless they are at full strength. And to top this all off, Eric Lecard, the other playable character, wields the Alucard Spear, a magical item gifted to them by Alucard. Here's the tricky room. The trick is, watch the feet. All you gotta do is watch your feet and you'll be okay. I'm not even joking. It sounds funny, it sounds weird, like, why would I follow the feet? Because everything here is so weird and windy. Trust me, this is wild to see the Genesis do an effect like this, but it's still pretty awesome. There we go, we made it to the end of the room. The whole gimmick here is gimmicks, so you're gonna see all sorts of stuff. Down is up and up is down in this area. Which is great for me, because I'm confused. I'm not that confused, but I'm confused. Oh man, I can't wait. We're what, 2 weeks away from Sonic Frontiers? I can't wait to showcase that game. That's gonna be so much fun. I wanted to state our goal again. If we hit 400 subscribers by the end of the month, I will be playing Castlevania Legends on that final week of October. Because for my channel, it is Octobervania, and I like to show off spooky games and spooky adjacent games. I love this room so much. It makes me laugh. Hello, Argent. Feel free to hop in VC if you'd like, buddy. I'm just playing me some Castlevanias. Sylvania Castles. Even though I'm running a little bit of a cold. Gang Prolong, would you want to pop in and say hi? Well, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Yeah, we hit 400 on the FNAF episode, and then YouTube took some of those away, because I think they were bots. But hey, we're coming real close to it now, and I'm very excited. Here's the greatest boss gauntlet I've ever seen. First up is Death, and he makes you pick a card. He uses tarot cards to to do this fight here. And all you gotta do is refight. Some of the bosses in a weakened state. Oh man. There's always the tricky bit. How do you stay alive? Good old boss rush. Some of these cards are healing at cards. I'm gonna try and pick all of the ones that aren't. And heal last. Bonked him right in the eye. Now here I'm hoping for the gem card, but I doubt I'll get it. I do like this Castlevania game a lot, though. It really is the better Castlevania 4, in my opinion. Here's the meat one. Here's the other meat one. This one would be great after that. Death doesn't attack. And the final boss, the Clockwork Gear, except it's a lot weaker this time. And just like that, Death was beaten without too much hassle. With all the cards he's dumped, Death's like, alright, that didn't work. I'm just gonna come at you. Of course, I'm not playing on like the hardest difficulty, so this isn't the hardest fight in the world. Alright, and back we go. our good old pal, Death. And just like that, we've taken care of the monster. Of course, the moon was always a big part of Castlevania. There's the Medusa. And of course she took her own life to hopefully resurrect Dracula. I'm hoping that with the patch that we'll be able to actually fight Dracula. Yes, we will. Okay. Grab the boomerang. I'm actually going to want the boomerang for this one. Holy water can be good. I love the sprite work here of John Morris. I just love the way the legs look. They just... Yeah, the animation, it just looks good. Barely wasn't close enough. Of course, Dracula being brought back with vampiric blood instead of human blood. He has purplish skin. This is kind of a running theme. Anytime Dracula is brought back by the hands of another vampire, Dracula just doesn't look great. Like I said earlier on in the episode, bear with my commentary. This game is hard, I have a cold. I don't want to annoy you guys with it. But I also know at the end of the day, I can't really avoid not talking on my stream, because I think it's my thing. It's what I do. It's like the one thing I'm good at other than my art, so... Alright, we've got 11 hearts to take care of the second form here. Reincarnation of Shaft. The Dark Priest. From long ago. Phase 3. Final phase of Dracula. And the big reason I personally wanted the boomerang. Because the boomerang can push him back. Of course, you also want to be up close, so that way then you can actually hit him, but... So he gets a little longer and taller and creepier as this game goes on. Really, I think this is the go-to Castlevania game. The nice part is, the easiest way to play it is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, and it's not a bad port of the game. So you get the US and the Japanese version, and the European version. So you don't have to worry about censored content too much. Alright. And with that, we finally beat Dracula. Hey! I got a slight whip there. Let's see how long I've been going for. I've only been going for an hour. I mean, we could do Eric's journey if you guys want. That is up to you guys. I'll let you guys say. If you guys want to see Eric Lecard's story of this game, I could just do it all in one run today if you want. I do like Castlevania. I do like these. I do like doing shorter streams as well. Ah, Armor Battler. Now we get to see the actual names for these enemies and see if how badly I butchered them. Oh, boy. We're only at 12 views, but 7 likes, which is awesome. Thank you to the one person still sticking around. Whoever they may be. I'd like to hear from you guys. Would you like to see Eric Lecard's episode today, or would you like to wait and save it for next year? Give you guys more Bloodline goodness. And if you guys missed out on Super Castlevania 4, that was last week, I've done the Adventurer and Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. So we did the 2 Game Boy games, this and Super Castlevania. Castlevania Legends was at 400, however, as long as we hit 400 by the end of the month. Because I don't want to extend Castlevania, Octobervania too long. While the ending is playing out, I'm going to pull this up. We are at 397. We can totally hit that awesome 400 number. Of course, we have more FNAF this Sunday instead of Saturday because that was the day that Artie is free. So, and Team Sonic Racing is probably going to either be Saturday or earlier on in the week, depending on what's going on. I've got Sonic Unleashed tomorrow, so it's all up to you guys. And that is the masterpiece that is Castlevania Bloodlines. And it'll ask you... you get longer and longer endings if you play it on Expert. I am not one to dilly-dally, though, so let's start as Eric. Why not? I have an hour. After this, I have to get back to editing the Mega Man episode. Trust me, it has been a long time collecting footage for that episode. It's gonna be a biggin. We have to split it in 3 parts because it's big. Originally, it was gonna be a 2-parter with me going over all of the non-canon stuff later. So here I have it with the green hair because I wanted it to match the sprite. Blonde hair also changes the sprite to make it more accurate to the artwork, but I like the green hair. I think it's fun. Eric Lecard is a lot different than your standard Belmont. He's got the Alucard Spear. He's got a high jump that he can use with the spear itself. Overall, I think it's a good time all around. He's got the same sub-weapons, but we're going to get to see how wildly different I can make his playthrough, because up here is going to be our first skip. In John's playthrough, we went down there, but with Eric, we're going to be going across. Oh, and of course, we get the awesomeness of the flaming Alucard Spear. Here, it's not quite as big of a deal if I keep it or not. And just like that, we beat him even faster this time. And just like that, we can move forward. Actually, I need to make sure that they're... because I haven't actually checked my settings. Okay, good. On Discord, sometimes my settings get messed with, and I end up with a co-host which nobody can hear for like a couple seconds. Luckily, that is not the case. I have the settings proper. I just don't have anybody with me today, which is alright, you know. Our local Castlevania knowledge expert is a good Augie. Love to have him on for all the Castlevania games, but he works a ton, especially right when I'm streaming too, so it makes it a little trickier to get him on for these, which is a shame. Somebody asked recently when I was streaming on my on the most recent upload. Made me happy because it means you guys actually enjoy watching this stuff. The Alucard Spear is quite long, regardless of what upgrade you have. The only difference major is that instead of being able to do diagonals in the air, he can only do diagonals and upwards on the ground. And the attack is slightly slower, I think. Honestly, I don't know. I've never done like a distance test. Like, it feels slightly longer. Who's to say? Of course, those dirty-minded folks are going to take that out of context. Of course, now I get to show off the sub-weapon here. Just gonna use up all of this. Lags the game, not as bad here, but oh man. We got a nice air jump there. Nice air shot. Luckily, I find it is worth it to play both characters, just because of the differences in their playstyle. And also the differences in the paths they get to go through. Not a whole lot's different at first, but then later on in the stages. And this is a really cool effect. I love this, like, translucent effect with the water. I love effects like this. Just the Genesis doing all of this, it's wild. I'd love to see a remake of this game or a remaster. But I really think Portrait of Ruin, the sequel to this game that was on the DS, that deserves a lot more love than this game does, because this game is like, yeah, it is a Castlevania classic. It is the better Castlevania 4. But Portrait of Ruin is the better Aria of Sorrow, and plays much more with the concept of having two characters than this game does. See. Just wanted to check everything out. Of course, the water mage here isn't too tricky. I mean, he's tricky, but he's not too bad. I'm sure plenty of people are like, oh, I could have done that better. I could have done it faster. Absolutely, you probably could. But I am awful at video games most of the time. Especially when I'm just playing to show off the game. Usually, if I'm just doing a showcase, it's either because there's not a whole lot to say about the game, or because there's... Or because it's so difficult that if I don't make it a showcase, people will think that I'm actually trying to play, and I'm using rewinds as like a crutch. I mean, I am using them as a crutch, but I don't suck that much. I have beaten Bloodlines before on the collection, only save stating when necessary, like the beginning of levels. Because, I mean, infinite lives isn't much of a code. Infinite life is like a cheat. But infinite lives, nah, that's not really too much, because every game can have infinite continues. I've found very few games where taking away the life counter actually does anything super meaningful. Especially if you implement things like allowing you to exit stages in like Mega Man, and allowing you to stop when you want and pick up the game when you want. It just can make the whole playthrough a little bit easier for everybody. Honestly, I find a lot of the people who are like, no, you have to play on the hardest difficulties. Oftentimes those people are gatekeeping, because they think only people up to their skill level can play a game. Which is so dumb that I don't know how I don't even know how they come to that conclusion. I didn't even notice that wall was breakable until now. Nice. I'm trying to remember if John Morris or any of them are actually playable in Harmony of Dissonance. I know Jonathan Morris is, which is the son of John Morris. And Charlotte, his friend, is. But I never actually looked at... I haven't played Harmony of Dissonance enough to actually have a full opinion on that game. I've only played it enough to be like, I know what the concept is. Right? Like, if that makes any sense to anybody. Like, I've played enough to, like, know the basic story of Harmony of Dissonance, but not enough to, like, do anything with that knowledge. Just like that, another boss is down. We're making our way through this really quickly. Honestly, I think that it's been pretty good. I think we've been making our way through the game. Nice and fast. Oh, I'm so excited for tomorrow's. We're finishing up Sonic Unleashed finally, so... So while I was researching the Sonic Chronicles game, I've come to the conclusion that game is non-canon. There's just so much where I can't find a spot to fit it in. And like SWAT bots appear in that game, I'm still confused. Everything in that game confuses me. Coming at us with spears. What do they take us for? The layman who cannot deal with said spear. I think the harpies are neat, or a nice touch. We're gonna get our way up here to the top. Hello, Mountain Man! I'm just playing Castlevania if you'd like to join me. I'm glad to see you, bud. Goofy snakehead. Alright, up we go. Eventually. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go for. Our first run-through of this game only took an hour, so... I wanted to pad out the time, figured I'd play as the other character. Oh, man. Excited. We got a whole bunch of really good games coming up on the stream. I'm also excited because I believe this Sunday, we will actually be finishing FNAF Security Breach. I had to beat that game, and that'll be something off my head. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a different kind of eventually than what I was thinking. Oh, man. I hope I don't sound too awful, Mountain Man. I feel sick. Like, legitimately. Alright. Now we get this guy. You don't sound sick, but you're not sure. Yeah, no, I feel sick. Yesterday was really bad. Today it's not so much, but oh, man. I hope I can have fun. Yeah. And you take care as well, bud. I do have a story to tell, though. A time where I was set up for failure. Like, from the very start of... From the very start of this thing. So, my dad was dating this girl who had a Sega Genesis in-box with all manuals and stuff. And they asked me, how much would a Sega Genesis be worth? And I said, it depends on the model. I bought mine for 25 bucks. This was a couple of years ago. Now the prices have kind of shot up and down and fluctuated every which way. But they asked me how much it'd be worth. They didn't specify that it was in box and had all the manuals. They just asked me how much a Sega Genesis is worth. And I said, well, I bought mine for about $25, so it's probably somewhere in the upwards of $50. And they said, but it has the original Sonic. And I said, yeah, most Genesis owners have the original Sonic. That's not a rare game. But this is not for resale. And I said, yeah, most copies do. And they said, well, I think you're wrong. And I'm like, okay. Well, how about you show me the actual system? And they pulled out the box. And they said, and my dad looked on eBay and said, this is worth about $235. And I'm like, you guys didn't give me all the information here. This is bullshit. Like, I was pissed. And that was... Excuse my cursing. I know I'm trying not to curse more and more. But that is a story where I feel the cursing kind of emphasizes how upset I was. Kind of adds to it a little bit. Because, as a lot of people know, I like to collect real original hardware and original software. So... When my dad and his girlfriend were asking me that, by the way, they broke up, they're exes now, but, when they asked me that, I was very much upset, because it was like, why ask me the question when you're gonna come to your own conclusion? Was it just to make me look like an idiot? Because I'm not an idiot. Because you can get away with about $500 for a Genesis in box with the amount of games they had, and it wasn't in pristine condition. But collectors will buy that box up, trust me. Just drove me nuts the way they asked it, you know? That's a story for another time. So we get to the piston section. Section isn't too bad with Eric, because you can just kind of slink your way up the tower. The game was rigged from the start. It really was. It was one of those moments, too, where I hadn't seen my dad in a long while, too. So... like, along with that question, it was more so when they asked it, it came across as a way to basically make me feel and look like an idiot. I criticized her cooking as well later on that evening. They didn't like that. Because they didn't season anything, and I said, you know, my mom makes a lot better food, and it's like, well, it's not seasoned, then why didn't you season it? Do you not know how? My dad basically screamed at me. I was, like, 17 at the time. It frustrated me, because my mom had taught me how to season those pork chops and do it properly. And they just popped them in the pressure cooker. They didn't even add anything, so... like, you can season stuff and put it into a pressure cooker. It's not hard to do. But she just doesn't know how to cook. Which is funny, because she liked to take credit for quote-unquote, teaching me how to cook. No, she didn't teach me how to cook. She taught me how to not season food. I learned how to cook from my job and from the people around me. Let's just get out of here. Are we really almost at 90 here? That's awesome. Oh, man. We have to fight Frankenstein. We didn't do that in John's playthrough. Alright. Just like that, Frankenstein is down. We're on to bigger and harder and more difficult sections. Like this room. These little beetle cars that look like motobugs. Of course, you'd think you'd want to use the holy water on them. No, you just want to use the spear. Eric's whole motivation for this game is like, look at this cool spear I got. With the high jump, this makes this section a little more nerve-wracking. Because if you hit the wrong button, you're just up. And I've done it before in that exact room, in that exact spot with this amount of health. Oh man, I was devastated. I had to restart the whole stage. It was a dang. I'm still feeling out the game a little bit, you know. Young me. Oh well. I'm much better at games now than I was then. I guess being able to practice and play and making it your job is also really helps. Of course, it's not the entirety of my job. I'm also an editor, a commentator, and, you know, artist and animator. I wear many different hats. Put on many different masks to get things done. You watch me for long enough, you realize I'm just a clown. Like most of my family is just a clown. So I don't think that's very fair. Alright. I didn't hit jump. I didn't... Or maybe I did hit jump. Oh, man. You can absolutely just lag out the game, make everything really hard to read here. Most of my stories go like that with my dad, though. going back to that story, most of my stories that I have of my dad, a lot of them end with him trying to make me feel stupid. Because, like, he doesn't... Most of the time, it's all a big game with my father. How dumb can you make your kid feel to make yourself look smart? The answer is very. There we go. Holding a button, it does something. Oh, dang. I like that sound. I don't know, it's just satisfying to hear. Ah, we got a nice pose there, too. Perfect, perfect. Oh, man. As we come to nearing the end of the game, going from the Palace of Versailles up to Dracula's castle, I'd like to remind everybody to like and subscribe to the video because we're trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end. And I think we can at least hit 500 by the end of the year. So blood skeletons yet again. By the way, if you go back, it does not turn back into water. It stays as it is. Or as it was. At the time of this game, I believe the directors and stuff were trying to make Castlevania into more of just a schlocky horror-themed game and more of a traditional horror-based video game. Less so to scare the players, but more so to show off horror and its horror history. And I think it does a lovely job, especially with everything this game does, and it does it so well. This game doesn't have to be perfect to wow my socks off. And I think this is an excellent example of that because just the way the environments can interact with the enemies, it adds something to the game. And just like that, that's how you get around that. Woot! Da, 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 da. Here's our first instance of the Fleamen, or the Hunchbacks, as they are also called. I've always called them the Fleamen, but Hunchbacks might be a better term in some of these games. You guys remember the spiral staircase I was trying to climb last time? There's where that links up. Of course, we have another boss that we didn't see last time. Of course, now they're shooting out multiple of these. Alright, yeah, that required some focus. That's gonna be... that's a running theme today. focus. Stuff I'd like to have I'd much rather have a co-commentator for today, but it's quite alright that I don't. Probably for the best, get me back in the groove of things. But boom, we beat Mothra. I'm just gonna let John stand there as I get a drink real fast. If anybody has any questions about anything, feel free to ask. I did research this game quite a bit before we started playing. I'm no expert by any means, but I know enough to get me by. That goes for most of the games. If you ask me a question about a game, I might know the answer. It all just depends. We're still sitting at 397 for subs, so feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and share the stream with a friend, because love to have people on. Of course, now we have Medusa heads. I don't remember this in any of my runs, so... Alright, now it's time for Eric's turn on the the winding room of doom. Speedruns of this game are super impressive because they just do not take a hit, like, anywhere. It's crazy. Oh, that was tricky. Trying not to hit the... single cannons, but so I just want to keep my sub weapon. Oh man, this room can actually be terrifying if you're a newcomer. Like, here's these guys, and they're just booking it for you. I just think it's wild. Alright. Oh, nice. We got the nice amount of hearts here. Gems, sorry. The games are different. Gosh, I am... gonna see what we can hit. Of course, one of the ones that we don't really need. One that would be way better later. Alright, now we have the cogs. Just like that, we beat him again. This time I didn't even get hit. Nice and clean, just like that. Fun. Report. Lewd content. Cool. Gotta love bots. Until you don't love bots. And just like that, Eric takes care of him, no problem. I'm telling you, Eric, it can be the easy mode if you really get to learn him. Which guy are we fighting now? Of course, it's the rock dude. And just like that, we're on to Death himself. And then Elizabeth Barclay, and then, last but not least, Dracula. Death is done. And we get to move up the castle. We only lost 20 sub-weapon, which is good because we can make that back in no time. We're already at 60. They tried. I know the rewind helps a lot, but the game's still tricky and challenging. There we go. About halfway done with Elizabeth here. Alright, back to these four, and hello, Dinosaur Fan 21. Welcome to today's stream. I am attempting to beat Castlevania Bloodlines today. Of course, it is a little bit harder than what I'm making it out to be. Where are the others? Generally, on streams like today, I am alone. I know oftentimes I have an ensemble cast, but for stuff like Castlevania and whatnot, it's usually just me. It's not that they don't like the games that I'm playing, it's people have lives, they get busy. Which is why most of the time I really don't have any co-hosts. Sad to say, I know, but... yeah, Artie will be on tomorrow for Sonic Unleashed. So... I know she's really looking forward to it, because that'll be a longer stream. You love Sonic? Same. I do. I really do. I'm really looking forward to Frontiers. If you haven't yet, I have a big playlist of all of the Sonic games we've done on the channel. I think it's like 55 or 56 videos now. A nice long playlist full of lots of great Sonic content. You can hear my opinions on all sorts of different games. We've done everything from the 8-bit Sonic 1 and the 16-bit Sonic 1, everything up to Unleashed, Team Sonic Racing, Forces, yeah. And now we've got this amazing track here. Oh, thank you, Artie. Buzzing out the bots faster than I can see them. Wild there. Yeah. You're gonna go get some noodles? Noodles? Gotcha. I quite like noodles. I haven't had anything to eat yet today. But I'll probably have some noodles as well later, because I'm a cheapo and yeah. Last night I made cheese dough balls. Baked them in the oven. Give me my chocolate. Dracula, you freaking nerd. Yeah, that's the running meme with all these Castlevania games. Dracula, you big nerd. Karmic, if you didn't notice, we're playing as your favorite Eric. Get the high jump and everything. No, we're not losing it this time. We're this far in. Oh boy. And now I get to use the special sub-weapon against Dracula. Welcome back! We're still fighting Dracula! He's transformed, we're on the final form here. He's a skinny boy? Yeah. Just in this game, though. Other games, he's a big, bulky demon, but instead of sacrificing a young lady this time, they sacrificed Elizabeth Barkley, a vampire, so Dracula comes out looking like this. He's Bones. Yes, he is. And with that, I've done a full run of both of the characters of this game. Once on easy and once on normal, I believe. Just gonna let Eric stand there nice and proud for the final final stage cleared. Ah, man. Castlevania Bloodlines, it's always great. I know he's got green hair here. It's blonde in the original version, but I like the sprite a little better. I like matching the sprites with the cutscenes, so there's a mod that lets you do it. Alright. We avenged Gwendolyn and stopped Dracula with the vampire killer and the Alucard spear. Brought great glory. However, in terms of the storyline here, this is where Morris, after this game, Morris has a kid and ends up losing his life to the vampire killer. And John Morris ends up, and Eric LaCourt ends up having to go back to the castle to find his daughters, and he ends up dying there because his daughters were transformed into vampires by Nosferatu. Kara smoking a pipe .png Bravolta says all the channels are just baller. Confusion, cool. Carmack says a winner is you. Yes, it is. Oh, I like Big the Cat and Silver the Hedgehog. Those are my two favorites. As I'm a goofball. When I saw Big the Cat, I got very excited for Frontiers when I saw that we can do the big fishing game. I've actually played through Adventure already on this channel. I don't know if it's the most helpful thing to watch, because at the time I think I was still working at Tim Hortons, so I was getting very frustrated. And this is something I wanted to note. Princess of Moss. It's supposed to be Princess of Moth. It's Mothra, but they translated it weird. So a lot of my older videos I made while a lot of the older streams I made while I was still working. Froggy. Yeah, I love Big. But yeah, no, a lot of those older streams that you may see on this channel, I made while I was still working at a fast food job, so I was coming into these streams very stressed out and exhausted, so my commentary was very lacking. For today, the commentary was lacking because I just didn't have anything to really say about the game, and also, I don't know if it's coming through very well on the mic. I am not feeling well. I'm quite under the weather. Yesterday it was very hard for me to breathe. Now it says try expert mode. I mean, and we could if you guys wanted. YouTube took away some of the subs because they thought they were bots or something. Because apparently when you get more than 10 subscribers, YouTube's like, that didn't happen. So, yee. Have I played Roblox Doors? I don't play Roblox. I'll be touching Roblox one time for Sonic Speed Simulator. But I do not play Roblox. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint you. I didn't let the opening cutscene play, so I'm just gonna let that play out real fast. Ah, I love that Dracula sprite. But no, I'm sorry to disappoint you with the Roblox. A lot of people ask me if I play Fortnite or Roblox, and I don't. I am much more of an old school gamer. I play games that are brutally difficult, give me a good challenge, and I'll play any system. You should play as the next stream. So the next stream for the up-and-coming streams for this week are... Let me pause it. Let me go to the options real fast. So the up-and-coming streams for this week are Sonic Unleashed, Of course, because I have to go into the options to keep the no music. So the next streams are going to be Sonic Unleashed, Team Sonic Racing. I've got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze Part 2. As well as FNAF Security Breach this Sunday. And then somewhere in the middle there, I've got 2 open slots, but I don't know if I'm going to fill them with much of anything. I might end up doing Sonic Speed Simulator just to do it, but I've never played Roblox and I don't know anything about it other than it's kind of like Minecraft. I'm gonna go in one more time as John Morris, do the expert mode, or at least show off what's different about expert mode. I don't think we're gonna do a 3-hour run here, but I plan out my streams quite well. So, like, next month we have Sonic Frontiers and the new Pokemon title. We've got stuff like starting the Sonic post game with Sonic Riders and the Education Trilogy, as I like to call it. I'll be showing off the canceled Sonic games. I'll be gearing up for the Mega Man, the Introduction to Mega Man video, as an ultimate guide and compendium. It'll be a 3-part video. Right now, part 1 is all recorded and like halfway done with editing. I need to finish collecting footage. As well, we have... I want to do a compendium for... as well as the Modern Sonic Timeline video, because I've done a classic Sonic Timeline, but some of you people are wondering about that. And then the final episode will be all of the games that I skipped over. So Sonic Chronicles, Schoolhouse, Sonic, all the games that are basically not canon. For the Mega Man episode, it's less so about... well, next week, as long as we hit 400 again, because the 400 has to stick for me to do something. As long as we stick at 400, I'll be doing Castlevania Legends next week. And just kind of... Alright, I'm confused. What hit me? That was some weird screen wrapping stuff. See, the enemies are a lot faster and a lot more aggressive. I mean, next week I could if you guys really wanted me to, I could, but... Hard mode, this is the hardest mode, yes. This is the expert mode. It's the only way to get the actual true ending of this game. But as I'm showing, there's not much reason to play it. Your damage values are... The damage values here are ridiculous. Holy crap! Holy shnikes. So, I have never beaten that guy without any windows. Shattering. That's pretty awesome. I didn't even know you could do that. Anyways, no, I might, here's the thing, though. If it doesn't have much of a story or any real reason for me to play it, I oftentimes find myself very bored. Games like Minecraft, I find myself bored with very quickly because there's no reason for me to play. I can beat the Ender Dragon all day, left, right, and sideways, but I feel there's no purpose behind it. I have not seen Stranger Things. I am sorry to disappoint you there. 2 years? Well... With Minecraft, I'd have to make my own goal. Yeah. And that's kind of why I don't want to play it for the channel. If I play something like that, it'll probably be between me and Karmic playing, and we'll have to find a good reason to play. Because I feel like me playing Minecraft would just... It would have to be... I have to have a good reason. Because it's not a game I grew up with. By the time the Minecraft came out, I was in late middle school, early start of high school. I don't have much to say on the game. It's not something that piqued my interest. It started out as PC games. I mean, I've got stories about my friends in high school who would play it constantly, and two of my friends who wouldn't shut up about the game started calling each other obsessed. And, I don't ever want to really mention those memories again, because the guy who I was playing with, like, those two people that were my friends, they were not my friends. They were... The one was looking for ways to be popular, and the other one was just very... The other one I would consider my friend if he stuck around more, but he really didn't. And I guess that's a story for another time. Those are stories about Matt and Sam. I'll have to tell some other time when they're a bit more relevant, because for me, I was into all of these older games growing up. I was into learning about video game history and video game... I liked knowing and learning about games, and I liked playing stuff that my friends weren't playing. Mostly because I liked educating them about these older titles, and sometimes they would pique their interest. I've got some stories where my friends were just... Their curiosity was piqued with these older titles. So when it comes to Minecraft and Roblox came out a long time ago, and to this day, I don't really find much of a reason for me personally to play it, but we're going to be taking a look at it just for Sonic Speed Simulator. And for Minecraft, we might do that down the line. I just don't have any idea. Maybe I can make it a Christmas episode. If we reach 450 by the end of next month, I might. By the end of November, if we hit 450, I'll play through Minecraft. I'll put up a couple goals, and we'll do a run or two where we just do certain things. They won't be multiplayer, I'll say that much, because I don't have anybody who plays those games. And it'll be the console version on PS5, so these are all goals for you guys, I guess. I play video games to entertain and educate, and if you guys want to see Roblox and Minecraft, who am I to deny you guys that? It'll just take some time for me to research each game. So, but for Sonic Speed Simulator, I might do it next week. I need to fill the slot with something, because if we're finishing Unleashed literally this week, and with Team Sonic Racing also this week, I won't have any main story Sonic games to finish. I will literally be caught up with modern day. Minus all of the games that are, you know, don't have a story. Or are not canon. Or are like Riders and and need a bit of explanation. And I mean a bit, like a lot. But yeah, don't ever take what I say as a hard no. It is always a maybe. Now, some games I'm going to have more fun with than others. Like, I feel like now that I've been streaming and I've seen the landscape of video games for a while, like, I feel like if I played Undertale, I might actually have fun with it. Who knows? I am quite a bit separated from those old high school memories now. That it might be time for me to return to that game and give it an actual fair shake. But for me, video games, I use video games as a teaching and learning tool. For me, it's an excuse to research my favorite pastime. It's like looking into football, except none of the players are real. I hope this answered some more of your questions, and you get to see a little bit of an insight into how I put together these streams and how I plan these out. Because I know it seems really arbitrary, like, oh, does he pick the games last minute? No, I actually pick them out, like, months in advance. The only time I don't is, like, every now and again there will be a game that'll pique my interest, and I just have to show it. But with Castlevania, I picked out all 5 of the Castlevania games for this month before we began, which is why Legends is the final goal here. Oh man, yeah, I am struggling with this stage now that there's everything flying through here. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I'm about done with this, though, for Bloodlines. So I'm going to pause it real fast and take a drink here. And if you guys have any more questions for me, feel free to ask. I'm down to answer. I can turn this into a little section about AMA. So I've got 2 spots open this week, so don't ever count anything out. I might even start Minecraft this week. Who knows? The thing about it is I have to find a reason to play, and I'd have to route it out, because if not, it would be a lot of wandering around aimlessly. Like, I could even do an all achievements run. These are all things that I could possibly do. But I think I'd much rather feel better. I'd much rather have my throat not sore. I'd much rather have my nose be a little bit better for me to talk longer. So I guess with all that being said and everything, I guess I'm done here for today. So we've beaten the game twice. I've shown off expert mode. I've showed off why I don't play expert mode. So if you like the video, subscribe. You can follow up and keep up with all my antics on my Twitter at GavinDragonYT. There's a Discord in the description below, and I have a PayPal on your screen and in the description if you wish to donate. I've got a Telegram art group where you can see all of the artwork I put out and release. Not all of it is going to end up on Twitter or the Discord, so please do that. Feel free to share out your fan art and whatnot. When this video gets done processing, there will be 2 videos on the screen. All that jazz. I have been your humble host, Gavin the Kitty, and I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching, and good night, everybody.